Hello everybody and welcome to a new Sidestep Adventure video. Today's video is going to be super special and something kind of different than we usually do. So I've got Cody out here with me and we are at a Georgia WMA right now where we are going to be camping tonight. Now we're already at a campsite right now, but we're not going to set up camp yet because we've got a lot of adventuring to do out here. So this is a very large WMA with a lot of history on this land. In fact, right across from the campsite over here, there's ruins of an old home site that we're going to check out in just a moment. There's an abandoned bridge and who knows what else we're going to find out here. This area of land before it became a WMA was apparently very highly populated with early settlers out here. I'm not entirely sure when it became a WMA, but it's been several decades. So there's all sorts of stuff in these woods. I know there's an open well too that we'll go find. Now this is going to be a multi-video series. I'm probably going to film the ruins and maybe the bridge separate and then do some camping stuff too. So it'll be several videos. So I'm going to shoot a lot of videos out here for you guys to enjoy. And there's actually a lot of Native American history in this land too. I have never been able to find it, but somebody told me that there is a Native American burial area somewhere out here on this WMA near the banks of the river that flows through here, which we're also going to go down to the river and check that out and do some fishing. So like I said, a lot of adventure happening on this video or this video series because it's going to be multiple videos. So a lot of fun stuff. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And as also, I was already kind of planning on coming out here to do a camping trip with Cody, but on our way out here we actually talked to a friend of mine who warned me that these woods are very haunted and come alive at night. Now of course, you know, I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that, but I thought that was kind of interesting to know too. So we'll see what happens tonight when we camp. So let's go ahead and get started with this adventure. All right, so this is the camping area right here, and we're going to set up later on tonight. But I figured I'd go ahead and show it to you guys during the daytime. And we're about to actually start adventuring right now, not doing any camping stuff. We're going to go find the old home site and explore around that for a bit. But before we get started, I am absolutely starving, so got to show you guys. We stopped and got some fried chicken. I think Cody got a chicken sandwich over here.
Not a bad looking sandwich.
All right, I got my snake stick all set up and we're headed out. First thing we're gonna check out on this WMA, which is the ruins of a home site. Now, I don't know any of the history of any of the places out here, unfortunately. Other than that they are early settlers of the area. But of course we can get some kind of idea by the construction of the foundation that's left. All right, so here we are at the first set of home site ruins that I know about out here. And all that's really left is this rock wall. It's incredible to think that 100 or 150 years ago, somebody was out here in these woods building a home. You can see more foundation stone set there. And here we are on the back side of the foundation. You can see the back wall of this stacked fieldstone. There's an animal bone too. So I'm really curious about that rock wall or foundation. I assume that it's an old home foundation and not something like an old rock wall around a burial site or something like that, but I've never been able to find out anything about it. And there are no cemeteries that are listed out here on this WMA, although with the large population that was evidently occupying this land from what's left, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some out here. And of course, there is the Native American burial ground, which I have heard about out here, but I've never been able to get a precise location on that. And I know what some of y'all are gonna say, I need to bring a metal detector out here, but I actually can't legally do that. It's against Georgia law to metal detect on state-owned property like wildlife management areas or state parks, that sort of thing, which kind of sucks. Especially, I understand why on the state parks, but I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to do it out here on wildlife management areas where they're not actively preserving the history or the land. Because a lot of times they still do logging on WMAs, so they'll come out and clear cut the woods every now and again. But so the rock wall is right up there behind me on the back side of it now, and I wanted to kind of walk down this hill and see what we found. And I'm seeing terracing in the land, which I'll walk up here and show you guys. If you can't already see it, you can see there's a terrace right here, which was done also with fieldstone. You can see that's rock under all that moss right there. And so the land becomes a little bit flat here, and then it's terraced again right here when it becomes flat again, and that's where our home site is, right there. So it's pretty interesting to see how they would do that to smooth out hilly land. The earliest this part of Georgia was settled was around 1825. So if I had to guess, I would say that home site is most likely, it's probably an early settler's home site from maybe around the 1850s. And again, that's just me guessing. It could be later, or it could be earlier. So right behind there is this, I thought this was a stream. It looks like a dry creek bed now. It probably flows when we have a lot of heavy rain. All right, so Cody and I have been walking for maybe about 3 minutes since I shut the camera off the last time. The first home site foundation we showed you is right back there behind me on that hill, and we've actually found another one, and this one looks super interesting. I'm really excited to find this. So you can see a rock wall right there, and then we step up here into the foundation, and we find a higher wall. And this one is actually closer to the WMA road than the other one is. You can see that's the WMA road right there. Of course, that could have been a road for a very, very long time. Now these rocks up here, right on the side of the road, initially I don't think they have anything to do with the structure. These look more like rocks that maybe were cleared out of the road when it was made a long time ago. Because like I said, even though this is a WMA road now, I imagine that this road is very old and has been traveled for a very long time. And this is actually a wall here as well. Another stacked fieldstone wall. And then of course it just kind of breaks up into these large pieces here. This is an amazing site right here, and this is one that I would definitely metal detect if I was legally able to. So we have, of course, we have the original foundation that I showed you, which is on a hill right over there with the terraced land behind it. We've got this rock wall here. And then this new structure that we found right here, which is pretty interesting. Judging from all the fieldstone and a complete lack of bricks or anything like that, I definitely think that these are pretty early settlers for this part of the state. And so we're standing in the middle of whatever this structure was right now. You can see one wall right there. It spans to over here, and so it actually keeps going this way. All the way to over here. So what I thought was super fascinating is I think that this may have used to have been a mill. And here's the reason why. You've got this little culvert, I guess you'd call it, right here. And this looks like the perfect place for a mill wheel to have gone. Kind of back away, and maybe you guys can kind of visualize what I'm seeing in my head is right there, a perfect place for a big mill wheel to have gone, a water wheel. And then there's the structure directly behind it. Now, when I first saw this, I wasn't 100% sure that this was connected to this structure, but it only makes sense for it to have been. It looks like it may have been a newer material construction, because that looks like concrete there. But I don't see another purpose that it would have served other than for a mill. Because it's definitely not just for drainage or something like that. So I think that's a pretty incredible find. Kind of want to clean off. You can see there's another concrete base here. Concrete base at both ends. And then it almost looks like the water would have dumped off into there. So I think that's an absolutely amazing discovery in these woods out here. And I'd love to know more about it. I wish that I knew more to tell you guys right now. Let me know what your theories on this is. But this almost looks like a whole little community starting to form just in this one spot. You've got what was possibly a house, or it could have been the office for the mill or something like that. And Cody actually thinks he spotted another rock wall that we're heading towards right now. Now, if I'm ever able to find out any more information about what was here, I'll definitely let you guys know. I'll have to get with my good friend Dan, who you've seen on other videos. He is the expert on the history of this county, of this area. All right, so what Cody thought was a rock wall turned out to just be a fallen tree over there that's covered in the moss, kind of like those rocks were. But I do think that there was something up here, because this is another really flat piece of land right here, and that would only make sense. There's an old cedar tree. Yeah, here we go. Here's some more evidence of early settlers. That almost looks like a chimney pile right here. Oh, is this a well? Oh wow, look at this, guys. Sure enough is. So this was a home right here. Oh wow, look at that. It's an open well. Well, I can't believe that it's not covered up, being on a wildlife management area like it is. So I'm going to drop one of these rocks down here. Wow, that's amazing. And it actually looks like there's a dead snake down there. Looks like the back of a copperhead in the bottom of the well. I don't know about you guys, but open wells or open pits in the ground like this definitely give me the creeps. That's super spooky to see. And just think, we're just walking in these woods, and if we hadn't seen it, or if it was covered over lightly by sticks or something, you would fall straight down in there. That is super scary to think about. So what we may do is, I may go back to the Jeep and grab, do we have any magnets in the Jeep? We've got a magnet in the Jeep. So we go back to the Jeep, grab a flashlight and our magnet, and maybe drop the magnet down in the well and see if we pull anything out. So now that we found the well in the woods here, I definitely think that that was a chimney pile right there, the pile of rocks that I spotted a minute ago. Because it was obviously a home site right there. So as we were walking back to the Jeep, I was just thinking about the old mill that we found and wondering how they got water to power it. And so that creek that we saw down at the base of the hill that looked like it was just dried up, it probably was a flowing creek, you know, 100, 150 years ago. And that's where they got the water from to power that mill. This is just amazing history, guys. And we're on the road walking back, and I just saw another rock pile. Right here, that's one we haven't filmed yet. This is between the first structure, which is right up there, and the open well, which is way down there. And this almost looks like a roadway right here. So maybe this was the original road right here, and they had the rock wall beside the road. All right, so we're back, and I've got the flashlight, and Cody's digging out the magnet right now, but you can kind of see what a hill this home site was on right up here off this road. And we're gonna re-up on some off. I just inhaled a bunch of it. So look here, there's another chimney pile right here. This is a different one than we saw a few minutes ago. A different home. And there's brick mixed in with this one. There's a piece of tin in the ground right here that's probably from this home. And the sign of tin and that clay pipe leads me to believe that maybe this home was lived in longer than the other two home sites that we found. Definitely got to watch our step out here. Not only for snakes, but open wells too. And I think I said earlier in the video that I knew where some open wells were out here. And the ones that I know where are fenced off and just on the side of the road. And while this one's pretty much just on the side of the road too, it's not fenced off. Look at there, there's a bottle. Will it be an old one? So this is a pint milk jug. A glass pint milk jug. That's really cool. I think it's so cool. This was a home, and I mean, if you didn't know what to look for, you'd never be able to tell or find it now. And now we're really onto something here. I think that this one was definitely lived in longer than the other ones were. We've got more bottles on the ground here. So we definitely know where they threw their trash out. All right, so we kind of got sidetracked from going back to the open well upon finding that home site out there. But what we did find is a creek down here. So that answers the question for sure of where the water came from for that old mill structure that we found. And here's another trash pile I just saw Cody pick up. He just picked up this old wash pan. And there's another one that somebody else has picked up at sometime and set upon that stump. So I think that these are some super cool finds in the woods out here. I see another stone pile And you can see the land is terraced over there on the other side of the creek. I think that's probably where the fields for the farms were, I would imagine. But I won't know for sure till we go over there.
I'm happy now.
Well, that's awesome. So Cody just found these. It's a screw top bottle. And a old snuff bottle. That's awesome. All right, guys, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to prematurely bring this part one to an end. It's probably already gotten pretty long, but I think this was a super successful adventure in the woods. We found a lot of cool stuff on this video, and we will be back for part two of this adventure coming soon. Unfortunately, I'm having technical difficulties. I brought 3 batteries with me today, and only one is working in my camera for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I'm going to have to go back and take my one working battery back to the Jeep and charge it up before I can do any more filming. So I hope you've enjoyed this part one. We'll see you guys on part two.